all the events leading up to your rescue on Coral Island?
Well, it all started civilized. Once the boys and I found one another, we decided to take a vote on who would take the role of a leader, which somehow resulted in Ralph winning.
Oh, so how did that make you feel?
I won't lie, I felt mortified.
Did that start your relationship off with Ralph on a bad note?
Well, to be honest, it did. I became very envious of him because I felt like I could be a better leader. He's focusing on stupid things like building shelters, starting a fire, and hosting conch meetings. Like, what? But I wanted to hunt for food. Like, hunting a pig. Like, that's more important.
So what happened after the leader was decided?
Well, Ralph, Simon, and I decided to explore the island until we finally came across our first pig.
Did you kill it?
Well, I wanted to, but we couldn't find the right spot to stop it. But eventually, I did end up killing a pig.
So what was that experience like for you?
Everyone was amazed. I had my face painted that day with charcoal and clay, and the boys and I circled on the pig and just chanted in ecstasy. I felt like a real leader.
Did you feel like you chanting with ecstasy and circling the pig and even painting your face was a form of you descending into savagery?
You know what? I wouldn't say savagery. I say we were just a couple of young boys who were finally excited to eat.
Is it true that the same day a ship had passed the island when you were allegedly in charge of the fire and it went out?
Okay, you know what? Yeah, it is my fault, but Ralph wouldn't shut up about it. Like, the most important part was we all ate, and that was thanks to me.
So what other events happened on the island?
Well, I actually came across a boy with a mulberry birthmark, and he claimed to see a beastie, and right after he went missing. But I feel like he had nothing to worry about because if there was a beast, Ralph and I would do a good job in ensuring that we kill the being.
It has been reported that when Ralph called a meeting, you last showed at Piggy and said, "We don't need the damn conch anymore," and some people knew they've got to keep quiet. Do you feel that you resembled a dictatorial leader in this kind of case?
Well, that's a good question because I feel like at times I could resemble a dictatorial leader, but that's only because Piggy wouldn't shut up about the goddamn conch.
I see. So speaking of Piggy, what was your relationship with him like?
Okay, the thing about Piggy is he's always rationalizing and disagreeing with what I have to say, and it doesn't make any sense. Like, we have really contradicting ideas, which results in us always clashing and not getting along at all.
Do you feel that you value those more when they agreed with you rather than someone like Piggy who was always disagreeing?
Yeah, I guess you could say that.
And despite all the mishaps on the island and the idea of never going home, was there any comedic moments?
You know what? Ralph finally came across his first pig to kill, and we decided to reenact it on Robert. And we were jabbing at him and just trying to bully him, but it was nothing more than just a joke. It was very funny.
But do you feel that possibly a bit of your savage inner instincts were coming out at this time?
I mean, you know what? Deep within, I guess you could say that there were temptations and savagery was kind of being acted upon with, but it was nothing more than a joke.
What else happened on the island?
Well, we decided to go exploring the forest, and we came across this figure which the boys originally wanted to stay clear of, so I decided to go follow it myself. But a few other campers like Morris and Roger decided to come as well.
I see. So you guys did make a tribe, is that correct?
Yeah.
I see. So you did end up skewering a sow, and then you ended up painting the blood on Maurice's face, and you even left the head as a gift for the beastie. What was your motive for all of this?
Well, I wanted everyone to forget about this beastie, so I left the sow's head so the beastie could stay away. And painting Morris's face was like a symbolism of power for a tribe, I guess you could say.
And it has been said that at one point you were wearing the forest like your old clothes and your face was painted all the time. So do you feel like this was a kind of like the start of you descending into a pure state of evil and savagery?
Yes, reflecting back on it now, I feel like I was just a crazy person.
I see. So tell me about Simon's death.
Simon's death was because we saw him and we assumed that he was a beast. So we went charging at him, and next thing we know, we were clawing him and striking him down.
I see. So how did that make you feel knowing that the beast was actually Simon in the end?
I didn't know Simon that well, but to be honest, it felt like my hands weren't mine. It was all so instinctual.
Did anything else happen after this?
Well, you know what? I didn't want to ask, so I just went myself and decided to steal Piggy's specs and went along to my tribe, and I found that Piggy, Ralph, and Sam and Eric decided to come back to claim their specs from me. I wasn't in the mood to deal with any of them, so I tied Sam and Eric up, and all of a sudden Ralph and I started fighting. I guess to the side of that, Roger decided to throw a rock, and not my fault, but Piggy couldn't dodge that in time, and him, along with a conch, fell 40 feet into the sea.
And did you feel any emotion regarding Piggy's death?
Well, like I said before, I never liked Piggy, so good for him if he dies.
Did the conch breaking have any significance?
It definitely represented the end of civilization.
I see. So what was it like being rescued?
You know what? I just remember crying a lot. It was like a miracle. Like everyone was just so happy.
There's a philosopher named Thomas Hobbes who has a theory that man's pure state is evil and that society is what keeps people civilized. Do you feel like you having no societal restrictions on the island kind of have something to say about this?
You know what? I feel like tons of times I did let out my inner savagery and my true colors did come out. Ralph was more of the civilized one, I guess you could say, but at the end of the day, we all know that deep within, Ralph did have his desires to kill. It's human nature.
Yeah, okay. So do you feel like at the end of this, there was no beast and that the beast was actually within you?
Wasn't me. I mean, I guess the beast could reside on Coral Island, but the beast was definitely not within me.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today.